Cordial saludo, bem-vindo em outra edição de Na Casa com Edjean, ao episódio número 123, caba. E nós que agradecemos para enviar mais em sintonia, para enviar mais está pendente de outra conversação muito interessante. Mas não pensava, já Luna caba, nós está antecipando sobre este dia com dois artistas a escolher para estrenar um videoclipe novo, especialmente na temporada aqui, que nós está na temporada de fim de ano, uma temporada que gostar para nossa comunidade e para a gente around o mundo. E me está muito contente, honrado e orgulhoso que nós escolher a plataforma aqui na Casa com Edjean para por estrenar o videoclipe aqui para você por começar a drentar um pouquinho mais da esfera de ano novo, de Páscoa e ano novo, esfera de fim de ano. E tá dois artistas que me admiram, mas já houve mês. E tá dois friends de mim, pero me admiram não para sobre não tá gente não que tá puxa para vai adiante, tá gente não que tá purba continuamente de chegar no máximo potencial cada viagem, tá gente não que sempre tá abrir para conseguir crescer, para conseguir desenvolver, pero que sempre tá abrir também para colaborar com outro, para trabalhar junto, para assim lograr coisas great, coisas que tem impacto riba ser humano, coisa que está inspirar, coisa que está motivar, elevar e empoderar o ser humano. E tá com o tipo de gente não assina, a mim mesmo como artista tá gosta de trabalhar, e pensei também botar mira não de vários de nossos projetos não que nós está assim. Me espero que tu que está mirando tá bom, se acaso a saúde não está 100%, me que deseamos o melhor. Ojalá que a saúde por melhorar pronto. Naturas nang, kung mirando nos for the hospital, paso mi ahaya un message for algum gente que está quedando de hospital, para me manda saludo para boso também, desejando boso lo mejor, desejando que boso por recuperar pronto, e desejando que pronto boso está fora do hospital e boso está back na casa, que senão que boso estima e que mais estima boso. Na nos grande nang, den casa de cuido também, que também mandamos um mensagem, corda riba nos. Nós que agradecemos você também para estar mirando, seja que você está mirando é riba Facebook, riba YouTube, pero também riba canal 23, para sobre o talk show aqui está passa turja Mars e turja Webs, riba canal 23, nós te agradecemos teleruba também para essa aqui, pero tu rende danke para bom comentário não, e danke pessoas que têm brindado, não somente no talk show, pero na vários projetos não, que nós está assim, para piano de projeto. Penúltimo show, o show de Jaluna, nós tinha resumen de Prêmio Nacional Crioyo de Ouro, homenagem a Maybelline Arns Cruz, nosso papi com Maybelline mês. Minowake, depois de homenagem, para sobre rato depois, nós saímos para Washington, D.C., para fazer uma apresentação de nome de Aruba, tremendo evento que estava tendo da Embajada de Reino Holandês, aí na Washington, D.C., para nós promover a isla e assim convencer mais gente para visitar nossa isla. E agora nós saímos back, nós para conversar com Maybelline para fazer sua impressão. E para o piano de projeto, nós estamos na caminho para dia 21 de dezembro para a experiência Kunuku Wonderland de Renaissance Convention Center completamente renovado, para assim por desfrutar de concerto de Páscoa, com bo amigo, bo família, com bo quer para cubo, full e sala societa blota VIP, das mesas com stool, solamente 50 florin por persona, e a persona como eu vou conversar com uma noite também forma parte do concerto aqui, e eu abro um momento para me introduzir, by the way, se você quer para dia 21, mandar uma mensagem, nós procurar para reservar, se você reservar a mesa de 8, ou você diz comprar um par de cartas, pero bolo vai estar na mesa, e manema vista solamente 50 florin por persona. A noite, junto comigo, me tenho dois invitados, para o aqui nós estamos assim, invitado presente e outro com outro presente de bico está sofrendo quebrante de saúde, pero está recuperando-se. Então, ele perguntou se nós está ok para nós fazer entrevista e for de sua casa. Obviously, nós está ok. Para nós por conversar com ele, então vai estar uma conversação entre nós três. A noite, me levou por awak, nós temos Adriana Kozlov e também Chris Cross como invitado. Eu vou começar a conversar um com a Adriana e nos de viagem depois nós está introduzir Chris. Adriana Kozlov, how are you? Welcome. Welcome once more to W Manor. How's everything?
I'm doing great. Great. We just had our annual Nutcracker production in Casa Cultura last weekend, and it was a great success. The kids danced well. We had a great audience. So riding high, I guess.
Awesome. I saw a few posts, a few stories on Instagram, a few pictures. We did chat a bit when we were in Washington. And it was great to see that it was probably a sold-out weekend during every function.
Yes, you don't know because we do it every year. We've made it a tradition, and So it's a new concept maybe for the Aruban community, but luckily they've caught on to it, and they also look forward to enjoy the Nutcracker every year. So yeah, we had at least like 900 audience members this weekend.
I love
so
that.
it was really super.
The great thing is that I mean, you're not only busy with the shows and producing that, but throughout the last 2 or 3 years, we've seen you participating in other types of projects, in videos, in concerts, and in our own projects. You've participated in the concert that we did in March. You were part of Premio Nacional Crioyo de Oro,
right?
Where we performed Luna di Plata.
Yes,
beautifully, by
honor.
the way, you did that. Maybelline was totally amazed by it. And now we're preparing for the 21st.
Yes.
However, today we're going to talk a bit more about this current project that you guys did.
Right.
And are premiering today, which is Nostalgia Navideña.
Yes.
Should we introduce Chris right now? Okay, let me put on
my
headphone. I did not have it on because there's a bit of delay. So nós temos Chris Cross junto conosco. Vamos assim nós estamos aqui riba screen. Chris Cross, conta com o lugar.
Hey, conta Edjean, tu cosa bom?
Ma escuchavo Hopi Leo, minuto escucho Chris, non ci va. Sì. Conta com
você. Mitei, virando super mais meu, dus
nice to know.
Contento de ter também, sequer virtual, pero com a mesma energia que sempre.
Nice. Maneno so bisa Chris, bota sofrendo quebranta de saúde, virando mijo. Contento de saber que boto mirando mijo para sobre uma temporada de mais druk para nos tour como artista. E conhecendo vos, me dá imaginar que todo dia você vai guerra, você toca, você é cumprir com todo compromisso, não? And good to see you getting better.
Sim, não, seguro. Essa aqui temporada me quer mais importante para a maioria músico, a tour músico, pero isso também me quer muito importante para você escutar tipo curva, então você trago aquilo lo qual está realístico. E assim, não? Pero seguro, o homem está quase 100%, dus super contento. Eu quero ongeveer para amanhã acaba, meu está top.
Nice.
Dus contento.
So this project that we're talking about today, how did it come about? So Nostalgia Navideño, which is a song that this year turns 60
years
right?
Old.
How does everything start? Who's gonna tell me the story?
So me and Adriana became friends since the first time she performed with us, Edjean, in March.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And that's where we met, and then we started following each other. And then I asked her, "Hey, we should do a project together," and she told me, "Yeah, we should." And then she thought about the idea of us doing this project. So she suggested Nostalgia Navideño, and immediately I said, "Yeah, it's a great project. Let's do it."
Was there a particular reason why you decided or you wanted to do this particular song?
No, actually, I thought rather than just picking a random song, let's do something that ties in with, a holiday or a celebration. And I remember seeing a video of you, Edjean, on YouTube singing Nostalgia Navideño, and it never left me. I thought it was such a beautiful song. So then I said, "Hey, Chris, what do you think of doing a Christmas video of Nostalgia Navideño?" And yeah, that's basically, how it came about. I think somewhere in June or July, we decided to work on this project. But like he said, we had been wanting to work together and kept saying, "Yeah, let's do something. So it was nice when we finally, came up with an idea.
Now, I think part of the process would be, Chris probably did know the story because during my concerts, when I tell stories about songs, he turns his head and looks at me, "Really? I didn't know about this part." Right?
That's true,
all the time he asks that, and it's something that he acquires also during the shows, like more information and also about this song because now you know the story of the song. He also knows the story.
Yes.
So more people can tell the story about the song.
Right.
when you learned about the history or the story behind it, how did it impact you? How did you process this story?
Well, actually, Chris and I met, and we kind of formulated our general concept and vision for the project. And then I messaged him and I said, what do you think if we go visit Vivian Lampa? You know, I know her well, and what do you think if we go visit and talk to her, and maybe we'll find some inspiration or some guidance, you know, on in which direction to go with this project. And maybe Chris can talk about that, but we had a really fantastic morning at Caspadu.
How did that experience go
Yeah.
with you, Chris?
Yeah,
I mean,
so it was amazing because we did not know what to expect. Of course, we knew that Vivian is very nice and very helpful. So as we came in, it was very welcoming, Vivian and both Victor as well, you know, and they showed us basically the whole house and told us every single history of the house. And it's very inspiring as well. And afterwards, we were talking and talking and talking about, you know, Padu and his upbringing and Vivian when she went to college and all of that. And it sort of ended very nicely as Vivian just sat behind the piano. She didn't say anything. She just sat behind the piano. And then she just started playing. And Victor took some instruments. And and Victor gave those instruments to us. And that's how it became about. That was our morning. And it was amazing, you know?
Yeah.
that's what usually happens, I think, when people visit them at their home, even if it's just to look for information, like for a book
Yes.
or a painting.
Right.
She always sits behind the piano
Yeah,
and starts playing.
right.
And that's
Well,
how Padu
Right.
also was. You wanted to tell me something.
No, I think it was like at 8 in the morning because Chris said that's the only time he's available. So we went. I said, Vivian, I'm so sorry, but we're going to have to come at 8 in the morning. And she's like, okay, you're always welcome. So 8 o'clock in the morning, we show up. And by 8:30, we've got this whole concert going on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what about these neighbors? You know, because we've got maracas and the wiri and the tambourine and the piano. But yeah, I think it was Chris who sat down at the piano first. You know, if we all know Chris, you know, he's like, you know, takes every opportunity to make music somewhere. So I think actually he was the one who sat down first, and then they switched after.
I think, though, that the neighbors are used to that.
Yeah.
Because, like, their neighbor would be, say, the Aruba on one side, the other side was an Airbnb. And the other neighbors, I think they're used to that.
Yeah.
And I think they like that. I mean, and they've been living there for a long time. So I think,
Right.
yeah, they're used to the music, even early in the morning. Was there something, Chris, that you learned, something new that you learned while being there at Caspadu?
I mean, there were so many. I mean, starting off with the history of, you know, Vivian actually going to college and actually I think it was, I don't know if it was college or high school, but because it was a really young age that she left.
And she was 15.
And she was, yeah, and we were looking at like some of these records and Vivian was telling us about, you know, Padu used to bring her to the beach every Sunday and they would just perform for like hours and hours and hours. And, you know, it shows you that, you know, the music is just not just a job. It's also a passion, you know, more than a hobby. So it's incredible, you know.
Is there something extra that you learned that stayed with you? I mean, because you learn all the time. Your ears are always
Yeah.
open to listen to stories. What else
I mean,
did you learn?
if it's musical, of course, because the way I heard the original record as well of Nostalgia, it's played different than the one that was released. So in that sense, I heard that it was like a totally different arrangement, different chords and stuff like that. But also that Vivian is a really great piano player. Very, yeah, because she knew like all the tunes
Oh,
by
yes.
heart and really really well as well. She knows how to play, and obviously I was like watching what she's doing, and now trying to imitate it, trying to
Yeah.
trying to learn something. Yeah, yeah,
Adriana, when you were there, obviously you knew that you were going to be recording or you're going to be part of a video. It would be a collaboration between a guitar player and a ballet dancer. You don't see that often on the island. I mean, we have seen groups or dancers dancing on Padu's music. However, you don't see that often that a ballet dancer performs on his music. Did you how was that process for you? Did you listen to other songs of him to try to find out who he was, or how did that process go for you?
Well, first of all, for me, seeing all of the photos and his artwork and the recognitions that he has and the letters, that was truly inspiring. And from that, you can find out who was Padu. I've met him several times. He actually came to our dance school performances when he was in good health. Yes,
Okay.
Vivian always brought him. But you start to learn who was he as a person.
Yeah.
And so you see the books that he read, you see his paintings, you see the letters, the photos, you see the colors of the walls in his house, his furniture, the little decorations that he had, and you start to understand who was he as a person beyond the music. And then the next thing that I do, which is what I always say, is that everything that I need to know about how to interpret the music is in the music. And so I just need to listen close enough and well enough. Of course, you have to have enough training and education and experience in life to interpret it in such a way, but really, I know when Chris sent me the first demo, I think I was driving in the car and I had like tears coming down my face. It was so beautiful, it was so moving, it just was so perfect, and I thought this is an excellent fit for me, and there's a beautiful sentiment in this song, and I just need to listen to it and embody the music and
Yeah.
become the music.
Now, talking about beautiful sentiment, now it's the three of us talking that do know the history of the song. But there are always people that, when they listen to that story, it's the first time that they hear, oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that that was the inspiration. So who between the three of us is going to tell the story of the song? Is it going to be Adriana, Chris, or me?
I think it should be you, Ed.
Yeah? Why? Just because I'm older than you guys?
It's because you know how to tell it better than us.
Should I tell it in Papiamento or English?
Yes,
I mean, you
please do.
understand
Yeah.
Papiamento. She speaks Papiamento also, by the way. You're just shy to speak it.
See.
Okay, cool. So, patuloy lang ko ito mirando ku ainda notaba sa história eigenlijk tras di nostalgia navideño. Na anya 1962, e yung mulher di Padu, Vivian Lampa, aba estudia na Amerika. Vivian também tinha uma história hobby particular que eigenlijk nos por conta mais depois em outro programa né? Nos a filmei ano passado um documentário que nos hace para Padu para conta sua história. Ora ela estuda na John Hopkins University. Eta persona hobby bom estudar e persona hobby progressivo em seu pensamento. Ora trata de direito para gente morrer, etc. Pero basicamente é inspiração de nostalgia navideño. Também se acaba nostalgia navideño. Tem a temporada de Páscoa. Padu taba tahaya hopi falta de seu morrer. Anto tem a feeling aí de nostalgia, tem a feeling aí de haya falta. Ela escreve a canção aqui não. Que tá basicamente conta com esta sinti que seu tá assim leu. Anto tem parte específico que esta bisa tem a canção. Bo canción más preferí cada vez que me escuché. Me por logra suprimir lágrima de emoción. Anto Vivian, su canción más preferida. I think you guys do know that song. Manera tawe mita corde palita maren. Caminda maure y quedele fiel. Esa es Vivian, su canción preferida. Ahora que escucha nostalgia navideño back. Eu ribosaco, a canção está dedicada a Vivian, e ora que eu pida de bo canção mais preferida, sei a canção mais preferida de Vivian. A história está simples, pero me tá seguro que o Hopi Hene quizás não estava tassado essa aqui. E assim atrás de Hopi canção tem história que nós não estava tassado. Was there a specific, I'm very random right now with my question. Was there a specific object that you saw at his house or their home that you fell in love with? How about you, Chris?
Yes, but I don't know the right term for it. Is it Adriana? Maybe you can help me.
Sure.
It's a huge LP player, but what is it called?
Oh, the
Vitrola?
The Futrola? I don't know. The device where you can play the LP and you put the needle on.
like a record player.
Yeah, the record player.
A
basically.
very old-fashioned one with the big
Old-fashioned.
amplifier.
Edjean, you
we
have
get
one
them
as well.
in the comments. Yeah, I have one, but this one I have is not that old. So I bought it in November or December last year. It does
Right,
play old
so-
records.
Is
So.
it a phonograph? No.
The phonograph. I
It-
believe
it might-
it's.
Graciela, help us out. She's commenting. By the way, Graciela is the lady I told you about that works at Arubiana Caribiana.
Yes.
She's the one you have to call.
Next time we'll be there.
Oh, ting mas gente, there were more people that didn't know about that story.
Oh,
The
okay.
story behind the song. Okay, so Chris, that's one of those objects that you saw that really
Right.
impacted you.
Right,
Okay.
right, and it was a significant impact as well for, I believe, for Adriana too, that we had to include it as well as part of the video clip. So we're gonna see that as well, and everybody's gonna see what exactly I mean, and maybe they can comment what it's actually called.
So I get gramophone.
Gramophone. Yes.
Yeah.
Gramophone.
Thank you
Okay.
so much to everybody.
Like the Grammy Awards, they give the award is one of those things.
the
Right.
gramophone. So that's one thing that you really liked. What about you?
Right.
The one object. I don't know that we both gravitated towards the gramophone,
Okay.
and like I said, just all of the pictures, and also I held his cuarta in my hand.
Oh wow.
And, not that I can play, but, just plucked a few strings. And, that was pretty special because Vivian told a story how he used to keep his cuarta and a little cassette player and a paper and pen under his bed. And that how Padu would wake up in the night and have this melody come to his head, and that he would record on the cuarta and write down so that, when you wake up in the morning, as we all know as other artists, I'm sure, that sometimes, you get these great ideas in the middle of the night. And so then I held that in my hand, and I, just thought of the history of this and how many, songs did he compose on this. And you'll also see in our video the introduction ties into the cuarta and everything. So that was pretty special as well.
Nice. Was that the first time you went to his house?
Yes, I've been to Vivian's house when she lived
Malmak.
in Malmak, but that was the first time going to Kaspadu. Yes.
How about you, Chris? Was that the first time?
It was my first time. Yeah.
Now, a question I have. You listened your entire life, he's laughing. You listened your entire life about Padu Lampe. Tata di Cultura, he's like the biggest, he's like the most legendary citizen, and he has done so much. And then I get this from a lot of people that visit. You visit his house, and it looks like any particular Aruban tropical house. Some people expect that the man used to live in a mansion. What was your impression when you arrived there? I mean, it's a typical tropical Aruban home.
I think I had the same expectations, and I believe, but I was surprisingly humbled about it as well.
Nice.
Because it showed that, even how big he is, he still lived like the way he wanted to, and very honest and humbled about it. So I think it shows that he didn't let anything else get in his way, and stayed true to who he who he was as well.
Nice. That's a feeling I got also when I visited for the first time. That humbled me a lot. I'm like, look at
Right,
this legendary guy still living.
right,
And his
right.
house is like any other typical, but obviously with a lot of artwork,
Yes.
pianos and albums, etc.
But there's a spirit
Yeah,
in that at home.
there
When
is.
you're there, you
Right.
feel, I don't know what's the word, but you can feel his presence. I guess that's what it is, and it's very real, and you feel it like coming from the walls and from, like I said, just seeing his furniture and the tiles that he chose and the colors. And I remember Chris and I commenting like, how many amazing nights were like out here on this patio,
Too many
him
to
playing
mention.
and, drinks
Right.
and music. Like, you just want to go back in in time,
Yeah.
spend one night in Padu's home, at one of his musical nights, parties. Yeah, that's what it felt like.
Nice. So we've been talking
I
a lot about this. You wanted to say something?
So I wanted to add that I even thought about, like, can you imagine that like Rufo Waver was hanging out with Padu all the time over there,
Yeah.
or they were playing, and when you touched Padu's piano, you realize that, hey, this was Padu's piano.
Right.
It's something completely magical. Yeah, it's big.
Amazing. You mentioned the tiles, by the way. It's part of my favorite thing
Yes.
at the house, the tiles in the house. I do want to mention, though, before we premiere the video, because we're going to premiere it in a few seconds. So there's this young guy. He's a teenager. And he has been inspired by everything that we do. He's been seeing our shows, by the way. I didn't tell you guys this before last week's Crioyo de Oro. He's 14. I thought he was an adult, and he bought 3 tickets for him, his mom, and his aunt. And I went to deliver the ticket. I'm like, okay, so are you? His name is Joey. He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So why are you going to this show? I'm not used to seeing a teenager interested
Right.
in that. So he says he's been looking at our shows and everything that we've been doing as artists. He's been looking at the talk show, and it triggered him. And he started looking for Padu's albums, Rufo Waver's albums, Etty Toppenberg's albums. He got a gramophone, and he's playing it now. He's 14 years old and really interested. So I told Vivian about Joey, and she's like, oh, he's going to the concert, so I want to meet him. But then after the concert, I forgot. So he left, and she came on stage and was like, I'm here to meet Joey. So he already left. And then today I hear that he sent her a message, and he's going to meet her tomorrow.
Nice.
Like a 14-year-old that was inspired by everything that we do. That's amazing.
It's great.
So that
Wow.
says that we've been doing something that's impactful.
Yes,
Hopefully that inspires us and you guys to continue doing what you're doing.
exactly.
All right,
Definitely,
so before we go to the commercial break, we are going to premiere the video. After the video, we'll go to a commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk more about the video and the process. And I hope everybody that's watching will really enjoy this new video clip
Me too.
produced or presented by Chris Cross and Adriana Kozlov. And wait, before we premiere, can you tell us a bit more about the other actors or the ones behind the scenes that were, or we're going to talk about that, no, when we return.
Premiere it, and then we can discuss further, I think, right?
All right. So everybody looking, here we go.
Okay.
Nostalgia Navideño, performed by Chris Cross and Adriana Kozlov.
La canción di quest'ultimo si titula Nostalgia Navideña. Per questo che pensate un'introduzione a singolo.
I was going to send to commercial right after, but the thing is, I did watch the video before the show, but then watching it now reminds me of so many things. I performed this song the night that we said goodbye to Padu. Vivian asked me to perform the song, which was on the 6th of December in 2019, it was, yeah. And I see you guys recorded it in Nicola's store, which is the store of my grandfather's cousin.
Oh, really?
Remind me of my grandmother, whom I lost this year. And it just reminds you that this song would mean something different for anybody.
Exactly.
Even if it's a person that passed away or a person that lives abroad. Beautifully done.
Thank
guys. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Before we go to the break, because I want to continue talking about the process of this. This is available already on YouTube, on Facebook. So on your pages, where can they find it?
So it is officially uploaded on my YouTube channel. So you can just search Nostalgia Navideño, Adriana Kozlov, and Chris Cross, and you'll find the video.
All right. Beautifully done. Really
you.
Beautifully done.
Thank you. I think that's the goal of art in life, is that you produce this and I give part of myself and Chris gives part of himself to create something so that other people can find themselves within the art.
That's what you did with me.
And if we accomplish that, then
mission accomplished.
yes.
We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Landing back into enjoyable shopping and dining, I can ensure you that we still take all the measures and requirements seriously. But at Aruba Airport, certain things are still unchanged. Your safety will always remain a priority while you shop and dine in frequently sanitized areas. Once inside, you will encounter a large variety of souvenirs, gifts, duty-free items, fashion items, and more. Share your fun island experiences while reminiscing over a tropical beverage or flavorful ice cream. The possibilities to make your visit fun are endless. Everything changes, but a happy vibe will always remain the same.
Na 1932, a desalina agua para promé viaja na Aruba e promé producción de energía a tomar lugar na 1958. Si tem costo con nos asinha den 90 anos ng tras de lomba, e seita que turco está sujeto na cambio. Pero lo cual no cambia durante 90 años, ta que web ta una combinación de gente ng capacidad y machinang inovativo, y dengue ayan ng nos delante, web su gente ng y su machinang lo queda na bo servicio. Feliz día ng di fiesta y turcos bon pa aya 2023.
Aruba, danke pa e sostén e confianza. Junto, com Aya Nobo, yen de esperança. New India, bo tranquilidad, bo seguridad, tan nos prioridad. New India, su compromiso, ta brinda buen mío servicio. Pa seguricas, negocio y propiedad, bo vehículo y mucho más. New India, bo tranquilidad, bo seguridad, danos prioridad. New India, te deseamos un feliz Pascua y un próspero año nuevo.
Bota buscando companhia para trabalhar poster, banner, stickers, flyers, tickets, business card e muito mais? Clickprint Aruba. Qualidade, bom serviço e bom preço. Nanta experto em Billboard Ads. Para mais informação, yamanang na 588-2634. Mail, clickprintaruba@gmail.com. Clickprint, ding Avenida Milio Cruz, 106, Local 3.
Hopi message, hopi comment rentando di reaction paco e videoclip aqui. Maneira que o Chris avisa e tá riba YouTube, riba su page de YouTube, Chris Cross. Busca nostalgia navideño, Adriana Kozlov e Chris Cross. Pasina bo por que quanto biago boquear, po share com quem ko boquear. E manema avisa para mim que o commercial break é uma canção que para cada persona por significa algo vorales nanku, que tem hopi tempo escuchando a canção aqui na fim de ano. Seja que é para uma pessoa que fisicamente não tem mais no mundo aqui, que bastima, a uma pessoa, como Adriana, visami em commercial break, que portava estudo na college,ava estudo no exterior, que é maior, te queda toch, apesar de que eu tenho tecnologia, você queda com sentimento de nostalgia, você queda com sentimento de raia falta. Você canção aqui, apesar de ter 60 anos bio e anos aqui, é uma canção que está muito relevante ainda para a situação de turdia foral de fim de ano. And you know what I think is extremely peculiar? That three of the most emblematic songs that we have in Papiamento, it's their special anniversaries this year. So in 1952, Rufo and Padu wrote Aruba Dushitera. 1962, Padu writes this one. And then in 1972, the person that we celebrated last week, but Maybelline, wrote Llanto de un Mama, which are songs that are part of the Aruban culture. They're part of our identity, as you said. Now the whole process of the filming. Why did you guys choose Nicholas Store? What's the story behind that?
Well, I think it was because we were trying to go for still like a retro vibe, because the song Nostalgia makes us think about the past. So we wanted actually to include a place that, has like a history, and it kind of feels like, we're going back in time. But the concept of it, the way it started was we started in Vivian's house, which is Padu's house, I mean. But it was totally, the feeling of the past there. And as Vivian turned the gramophone, I believe it's called, the gramophone, we appeared in Nicholas' store, and Nicholas has such the antique vibe, but we are us though. So we're in the present. So we're in the present, but our environment is the past, kind of thing was the concept.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was that also what you felt, or did you feel something extra when you were in that place? You also felt there was a perfect fit for the video clip?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We actually, Chris and I had our first meeting downstairs in Culture Cafe, and where we formulated this concept and the vision. And that was one of the things he said, we could do this upstairs. So then we went back another day to see it, and we agreed that, it had the perfect feeling for what we wanted to do. And naturally, when you hear the music and you're in that environment, I think it produces from you a certain quality of movement and expression. So for sure.
What about the behind the scenes? Actually, those behind the curtain. Who was in charge of filming and producing this entire video?
So I had my friend Darwin, him and his team to be in charge of the whole videography. And the way we did was we had a meeting. As Adriana said, we met before, and then we met afterwards as well, but mostly digital. And we had the whole concept down, but then we had to run it with Darwin. We did location scouting. We went to see different things, and he also gave his input. And what would be good to shoot first, which angles, and what it was very. It was a very mutual and positive collaboration between us and Darwin as well. And so I thought they did an amazing job as well,
Yes.
and I'm very satisfied with the results that we have.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
This whole process of filming, how long did it take? How many takes did you guys do?
So you wanna talk, Edjean, or you want me to?
You go first, and I'll add after.
Okay. So the way usually like video clips go is that you do it completely and then you redo it completely, different takes. But the way we did it was we did different scenes. So each scene we had since we did like different angles. So each scene was about 10 times, not to exaggerate.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe even more.
Yeah, maybe even more. Yeah, it was a lot. Because he wanted double shots of every angle as well. So we had different angles.
Yes.
And it's funny because I stepped out of my comfort zone, I have to say, because I usually don't go, standing up with my guitar and, kind of almost
Chase
chasing
after me.
yeah. Right? Chasing a dancer. In this case, it was the first time for me. So it was a great experience, though, in that
Yes.
term. But to answer your question, Ed, it was about how many hours? I would
At
say
least
about
5
like
hours.
Yes.
I
5 to
know
6.
for sure I showed up
Yeah.
there at 7:30 to do like
Yeah.
hair and makeup, and then we finished at like
At
3:30. So
Yeah.
We are talking during the day.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's true because each scene, there was the angle of Chris close up, then there was the angle of my face, then there's the angle of my feet, and then from behind, from this way, from that way. It was, and Darwin did an excellent job. I mean, really just looking for all of the different angles, and you really see it in the
Yeah.
video. How beautifully he transitioned them and put it together, and how you see the both of us. And maybe it's just my arm or something, and underneath you see Chris playing. It's just beautifully
Right.
put together. But I have to say that Chris had the easy end of the deal here, because he's just sitting there playing,
I was
and
gonna ask.
I'm the one who was like dancing for 5 hours.
But I was gonna ask about that because Chris, we know you as an expressive guy, like with your face. When you're performing, people know that they're gonna see either the guy smiling a lot or there is a lot of expression on his face. So in a way, through your face, obviously, besides the playing, you can express what you are playing. But then we have a dancer that has to express the feeling and the energy
have
of
to
the
be
song
together.
through your
Yes.
body,
Right.
through your face. And as you said, it has to go together. How do you accomplish that? Is it something you talk about before, or it just happens magically?
No, we didn't really rehearse it, actually. Chris created his part, the music, and I created my part. But the thing is that when you come together, you have to trust each other. So, and I think Chris is very easy to work with. He's very relaxed, very calm and chill, and yes, let's do this. And he gave me the reassurance, I guess, that I needed to do my part, and together then we just make the magic happen.
So now it's up to everybody to go look for the video and start searching for the video. You wanted to say something, Chris?
Well, it wasn't that easy, though. To defend my part, the playing and standing was kind of difficult. But it was definitely like a new experience, and because there was a scene, I don't know if it was that clear, but I had to like run, and it was very difficult to like run. So I don't know. Props to all the dancers out there. I don't know how they do it, but it's totally new experience for me. But it was great. It was great at the end, and I'm happy with the results as well.
Yes. I think even at one part, it was like, okay, Chris, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and then you're going to get up. And then he's like, but how am I going to know to get up? And I said, well, you're just going to see, like, it's the moment to get up. But, what seems very natural for me, as a movement artist, you know, for a musician is like, whoa, you know, like at which point exactly you want me to get up? And then I'm like, Chris, when you get up, could you not like swing your leg around the chair? Could you get up like a little more, you know, elegant? So we had like good laughs and fun times.
She was kind of wanting you to become a ballet dancer also when you were recording.
I think it was a hidden agenda, yes.
Well, if you see, there's one part where I'm like waltzing around and he's following me. And Chris, you did it great, really great.
Now, is this the start of something that we could see in the future? Other collaborations between the two of you, recording more of these types of videos?
I would say why not? I would say why not?
Sure.
I'm definitely open to collaborate with many artists, including Adriana. You know, this is probably not going to be the last one. So for me, I'm very open, you know, and I think collaborations are very necessary, very powerful, and very, you know, inspirational, and that's, you know, so
Nice.
yeah.
Talking about collaboration, we are doing this one on the 21st.
Yes, we are.
So when I heard about the plan, I asked Adriana, how about we do it on the 21st during the Kunuku Wonderland concert? But then there's a third element. There's a singer now
Yes.
in the song. So we're going to have to try to, I think it will go.
We're gonna, Edjean, this time you can do my part, my dancing part.
I'm not going to move on stage. Yeah, we got to talk about it, how we're going to do this this
Well,
one.
do you remember even in the concert for Maybelline,
Yeah.
you said, okay, I'm going to come for you. I'm going to sing this way. And then you're going to do this. And we're going to finish like
Yeah.
embracing. And then we did something completely
completely
different.
different. We didn't talk about this after the show. Now we're talking about it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was different.
Yeah.
However, I look forward to this this song on the 21st.
Yes.
It's not usual that during my concerts we have dancers, but since March that I had you as I mean, I've had other dancers in other shows, but never a ballet dancer. And it was a great experience having you dancing Luna di
Thank
Plata. And now I'm very curious, and I look forward to this one on the 21st, Nostalgia Navideño. Obviously, Chris as being the musical director of the band and part of the show, and you being one of the invited guests also of the concert. We're doing the photo shoot tomorrow.
Yes.
So you're going to see Adriana also as part of the crew of the artists, because it's important for us to not only showcase me as the artist, but also those who are part of this. So what are the expectations for this? Do you have any expectations for this particular song or the video clip?
You mean for the 21st?
I can see, I mean, for that one, I think you would be excited, but
Of
I
course
can
I
see
am.
here that people really liked what you guys did.
Great.
Deirdre, I think you pronounce it Snoil.
Oh,
She
yes.
says, Hopi bonita pa bien. Obviously, Graciela says, beautifully done for sure. So, people like what they saw.
I hope that the Aruban community really relates to it and enjoys it and enjoys the new life that we breathed into this beautiful classic.
Nice. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, definitely. I feel the same way. I hope, because this is, for me, it's something new as well to make a solo guitar arrangement of it. So I hope everybody liked it. And, you know, I hope that this can inspire as well other musicians to, you know, perform, as well come up with arrangements, solo arrangements, especially the guitar community, and, you know, to keep creating great music. Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations. Thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
this. Thank you for picking a song that is so emblematic for so many people in our community and for breathing new life into it, and for inspiring others. I think you not just inspire that generation that knows the song, that has a special link with the song, but hopefully also inspires those newer generations to make them more curious about our own
Yes.
songs. And when I say our own, I admire what you do, because as you've told me in one of those interviews that we did before, or the interview that we did before, you were not born in Aruba. However, it's quite clear how enthusiastic you are by
Yes.
our own heritage, by our own music and our own treasures. And it seems it's very clear that you are not only interested in performing it, but also contributing to enriching that.
Absolutely.
So it's very nice to see. Congratulations once more, guys. Very proud of you always. Great working with you.
Thank you.
Looking forward for the 21st. And I leave Chris to say a special message to those watching, and then I'll let Adriana say a special message to those who are watching.
Thank you so much, Edjean. I want to thank you too for having us on your show. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And I hope that the public of Aruba and everybody else who's watching really enjoyed this video, and that it may bring special feelings to you as well, nostalgic feelings, and that you have a happy holiday as well.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank
See you soon.
Ciao.
Take care.
Ciao.
Adriana, it was a real pleasure again to have you on the show.
You.
So what's the most special message you think you can leave behind today?
I guess I'm going to leave with a sentiment of gratitude and appreciation for the beautiful community of people here in Aruba who have opened their arms to me, welcomed me in, including you and Chris and other artists, as well as people that I don't particularly know but have interaction with maybe on social media, who have been extremely supportive, have sent me lots of love, lots of well wishes, encouraged me to continue what I'm doing. I feel all of it. I see you all, and it means more to me than you know.
I know. Thank you so much for doing what you're doing. I wish you all the best. I wish you a new year filled with only the best blessings and a lot of health, a lot of success in all those plans that you have.
Thank you.
It's a real pleasure to know you, and it's great to see that a person, even though you were not born in Aruba, we consider you as being part of us.
Yes.
And thank you for being so enthusiastic about being part of every project that we do, and helping us move forward with the creative sector on the island. It's a real pleasure always to be experiencing and collaborating with you also. Looking forward to the 21st.
Yes.
Looking forward to see all of our viewers to be sharing this video of Nostalgia Navideño. We will be sharing it also on our social media pages so that you could also enjoy it whenever you want, wherever you want. Hopefully you share it with those that you want to share it with, and wishing you guys once more a lot of success.
Thank you.
Hope dank por acompanharnos hoje noite, corda dia 21 de dezembro em Renaissance Convention Center, concerto Experiência Kunuku Wonderland, concerto de Páscoa de gala. Por fim, depois de vários anos, me está back com o público, com me quer patei junto com me e junto com todos os artistas que forma parte da noite aqui. Full VIP setup, dia 21 de dezembro, 50 florins só para entrada. Comunicar conosco na 569-5442 para bocarci, para por vir desfrutar de tremendo recital nostálgico de fim de ano. Nostalgia Navideño também deu representar a noite, não? Adriana Kozlov também parte do concerto aqui com Nuku Wonderland dia 21. Hope dank u bien mais por sintonia. Nós estamos para outra semana, em outra edição de Na Casa com Edjean. E by the way, já sabe o que está amanhã, dus que me pode pedir para regalo? Donação para a Fundação Go Cultura. Não, a única coisa que eu quero pedir você tá para seguir apoiar artista, seguir apoiar criativo, seguir dando o sustento nesse ano que está dando tudo de parte para inspirar-nos ainda, motivar e elevar-nos ainda. Hope dank u mais para join. Feliz noite, Turcos bom.